All right, so I finally got to play around with Manus AI, and one of the first things I wanted to do was create some like use cases and projects that I could actually use on a regular basis. So one of the projects that I'm working on now is building an AI website agent, utilizing a couple of the platforms like N8N and things like that. And I wanted to integrate high level into it because that's our main CRM that we use, and I wanted to see what kind of ideas it would come up with and what kind of project it would be able to create for me, and then see if I could create a template that I would copy and paste right into N8N that would have the workflow for me. So I just wanted to see what was possible. And so I just created this basic prompt talking about the different softwares I use, the kind of tone and vibe that I wanted to come from the agent. And I wanted to make sure that we had a knowledge base that we could refer to and have one that's self-learning so that as somebody gives it answers or asks questions, we can update our knowledge base so that it can always be learning and self-improving. So one of the things I really like about Manus is that it thinks really logically. So it creates a to-do list, and then it executes that to-do list step by step. And then it'll walk you through exactly what it's doing, tells you the files it's creating, and then it gives you a whole bunch of resources at the end that you can download. And I thought that was really, really good. And it gives you some information about what it discovers, all the research that it does. Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. And then you're able to download all of the files that it comes up with. So, like for example, you can check all the files in the task. So it came up with originally it had just come up with like the to-do list, a proposal for the solution. It gives a nice diagram and just a bunch of different information that is really well thought out. An implementation plan and a timeline. A lot of stuff that I didn't ask for, but it really built out a ton of different stuff. So I thought that was really cool. It gives me like conversation flows, structures, initial greetings that I can copy paste and update into the workflow. Tons of information and just ideas of processing it, special cases. So I thought it was really cool how it kind of came up with everything. Here's the actual implementation plan, the timeline for everything, how to set everything up. So I thought this was really good. Ton of information, ton of knowledge base architecture. So a lot of it's stuff that like really just kind of breaks everything down in a way that makes sense. So it just gave me a few of the documents, and it didn't give me the template that I wanted, and I didn't ask for it. And then I decided to ask for it, and then it kind of created it. It gave me a structure, and the first one that it gave me was kind of like overly complex. It was just a bunch of different nodes, and what it is all of these nodes use a community node called LangChain, which we don't use. And I wanted to use it with like actual AI agents and things like that. So I gave it another prompt to basically replace it with, I wanted it to tell me what type of AI models it would recommend, right? Whether it's OpenAI, whether it's Claude, whatever the LLM was, I wanted it to recommend to me just to kind of see what it could do. And it did that. It gave me a lot more updated OpenAI nodes and things like that. Now, I was hoping it would suggest Claude for a lot of the copywriting stuff or the communication text, but what it came up with was OpenAI 3.5 for kind of like processing things, and then 4.5 for any kind of like creating context, creating communication scripts, things like that. So now this isn't how I would build a workflow. This is overly complex, and I would actually use AI agent nodes instead of the individual LLM nodes here. But it gave me a good breakdown and flow of what it's thinking in the process that it's going in. So, I mean, I could take a lot of these ideas and update them to build an actual flow. So, while it didn't actually do exactly what I wanted to do, I mean, it got me along a good amount of time there. Right? It did about 90% of the work for me. Now I can just go in, tweak, make some adjustments. I've got a lot of the documents that kind of lay everything out step by step for me. I've got some of the prompts. I've got some of the different the queries that people, examples that people might ask, and I can create like a FAQ based on this information. So, a lot of really good information, and it gets you a good chunk of there of the way there, right? It's not 100% automated, but I think it works really, really well. I created another project where I wanted to see like if it could come up with an actual presentation for me. So I just had a quick 20-minute presentation, and I had it create a landing page, a lead magnet idea, and it created a decent amount of stuff for me. It created a whole package, scripts, landing page, slides for the whole entire presentation. So it gave me a lot of stuff. Now the slides weren't formatted, or they didn't look pretty or anything like that, but it's stuff that I could take and put into another AI model or Canva or something like that and create a lot of the stuff from it. So it's really good to kind of see the process and how Manus works and how it really thinks logically through creating a to-do list, executing each task, and then giving you a package full of document information that you can actually take and implement. So overall, I think Manus is a good start. It's only the beginning of building stuff and agents with AI, but I mean, it gets you a lot of the way there. Rather than having to create specified prompts and work with AI for a couple hours, it really reduced a lot of that time to be able to do it in a short amount of time. So I mean, even just the whole process of running Manus, it took probably about 10 or 15 minutes because I asked it to do a lot of different things. So it does take some time, but it definitely reduces a lot of the time in the overall scheme of things, right? And I could give them the prompt, tell them what to do, and then go do other things. And then, 15, 20 minutes later, come back and it already had everything completed. So overall, I think it's definitely a great start. It's good to see kind of where AI agents are going. And yeah, definitely excited about the technology as it grows and gets better. And as we're able to integrate all these different things into it, they're going to be building a lot of different. There's going to be so much more that's coming, especially with the idea of an open source community. There's a lot of really cool things that I think that are going to come from this. So excited to see where the path that it's going and what exactly comes from it.